Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm here as promised to do the review of Mark of Athena by Riordan. This is the third installment of the Heroes of Olympus series, the spin-off the Percy Jackson series, which is a fantasy series for children, but anyone can read it because it's so freaking good. It's about Greek mythology, and in the second series, the Heroes of Olympus series, they install also Roman mythology and some other aspects, and it's a really good book for you to learn more about new mythology and learn more about history, because Rick Riordan, the author, is a history teacher, or was before he became the best-selling author of the New York Times and any list that you can think of. So if you haven't read the Percy Jackson series or the Heroes of Olympus series until the Mark of Athena, leave now because I will be spoiling it. So for all of us who have read this book, oh my god, I loved this so much. My favorite part was that Annabeth was narrating, and I loved to see her point of view. I thought that she was kind of different than what I had perceived her in the first series, because when I read the first series I felt like she was some kind of unstoppable machine. She didn't feel normal things. I could never relate to her because she was way too kick-ass for me to relate to. But in the second series you can totally relate to her when you're reading from her point of view. She has a panic attack when she's fighting Arachnia, but who wouldn't? And she has an anxiety when she's fighting, and it shows that she's afraid and she has fear, but she conquers it, and that's what makes her a hero. Just like Percy, when he starts having anxiety because of the time he got stuck in the mud in the second book, which, oh my god, when I was reading about his anxiety on water, I got anxiety myself. I am already an anxious person, and I was like, oh my god, I also fear suffocation like no other, because it's such an awful feeling, like we can all agree. But he's the son of Poseidon, and if he fears water, what should I do? But it's like, it's so good to see him conquering his fears and Annabeth. But let's talk in parts because I'm just babbling right now. So Annabeth in this book, I can see from her point of view how much she loves Percy, because it totally was unexpected for me when in the fourth book she just kissed Percy in the mountain when he was fighting the Telkini. I can't pronounce that, but like, I knew that she liked him when she was getting jealous of Rachel and stuff, but seeing her being affectionate, it's so different, because she's such a reserved person that it's great seeing her being affectionate and kissing Percy and judo chopping him, which was like the best thing ever. And I feel like we could see through her armor, like we could see that she was afraid, but she always conquers her fear and she doesn't give up. And the way she thinks, she's so freaking clever, and I was so proud of her when she was fighting Arachnia. I'm probably pronouncing Arachnia wrong, I don't know the name, I can't remember, but she was so brave and I was so proud of her. I feel like I've seen her grow as a person, which is weird because she's a character, but also the way she describes Percy, oh my god, it was so relatable, because that's totally how I see him. Because she was like, he's tall and tan and he's beautiful, and I'm like, yeah girl, I agree. And it was good to see all sides of Annabeth, because she's not just this strong person, because it's nice to have kick-ass female characters, but I feel like if we don't get kick-ass characters, we can't afford to have girly characters without feeling like it's a stereotype. But being a girl, being a woman, has lots of sides. We aren't all just one thing. We have many sides to ourselves that make us a person. So it was nice to see it from Annabeth's point of view, because she wasn't that untouchable person. She was someone who was going through a lot of things, and she fight through all that stuff and still being a girl and a human being, like no matter your gender, which I thought it was nice. But anyway, I also loved seeing a lot from Percy now. I don't know, I don't like Jason. Like, I gotta say it, I don't like Jason. It's not that I don't like him, it's just that he has a sense of honor. Like, we gotta do things that way, we gotta do things that way. And I'm so used to Percy being so like, we gotta do the right thing because in the end it will be okay. But he's like, we gotta do the right thing, and if it's not the right thing, we can't do it. And I'm like, boy, stop please. I feel a vibe like Ned Stark from him, from Game of Thrones. Like, he has some kind of honor, but in the end it doesn't pay up, you know, that kind of honor. It's nice to have honor towards people, but when you're doing it without thinking of the consequences, no thanks. And also, my favorite characters from this new series are Hazel and Piper, because I love me some girl power, and the way Piper uses her powers are amazing. But what amazed me the most was Hazel. Her story is so sad and she's so brave. She's such a big hero to me. She never stops fighting, you know. She's just so brave, and she makes sacrifices, but she also knows how to deal without having to make the sacrifices, you know. She doesn't just keep, oh no, it's okay, I'll die, you guys go. She keeps fighting, and she knows when she has to make a sacrifice. And also her writing Riordan, it was amazing. I was like, oh, you're so awesome. And I'm really glad to see her relationship with Nico, because Nico needs someone he can trust, and he kind of dying almost in this book was really nerve-wracking, but I feel like he's a good person and he needs support because he's just a kid after all. They all are just kids, but Nico got no family and he had only a sister who is not much older than him, and she died and he was alone and he traveled through darkness and he just needs someone to be with him. And I really am glad that he found that person in Hazel. I think he did from what I read, but I'm just really proud of him. And I don't know, his character development is amazing to see. He's such an important part of the series, and I could never imagine that he would be such a big part in the series when I first read about him. Also, a little thing I noticed. Are Frank and Leo different in this book? Because I feel like they're kind of out of their characters. I don't know, Frank was such a sweetheart in the second book, but he became so much more closed and kind of snappy in this third book, because he was kind of being a jackass towards Leo and Leo was being a jackass towards Frank. And I feel like they're a little out of their characters when they are in a group, but they are so amazing when they are in three, but when they are in a group they became so snappy. And that whole love triangle thing, ugh, I hate love triangles. But I don't know, it's just that I didn't feel like their actions were in right mind. And I kind of grown to not liking Frank that much, and Leo also. I loved Leo in the first book, but now I'm kind of okay, I like you, but you were so much better. What happened? And to end this video, because I babbled too much already, let's talk about that ending. They fell into the Tartarus, which by the way is Gaia's husband, if we all remember our Greek mythology. So Annabeth and Percy in the Tartarus, hard to survive, but because they're the main characters they have to survive, but they are Percy and Annabeth, they will survive. But what the hell? Why does Riordan have to give such emotional trauma to his characters? Like, couldn't they be safe, chilled out in Camp Half-Blood, which I hope will be okay after the Roman invasion, because fuck off, Romans, fuck off. And Rena is such a great person. I'm glad she's running the camp. I understand her reasons, and Octavian is an asshole. But anyways, I hope Percy and Annabeth are okay, because I don't want them to have that much trauma within themselves, because I was heartbroken seeing Annabeth having to face her biggest fear, and she was so depressed when it was ended, and she was like, I just want to chill, I just need to chill, I just need to hold Percy because I'm emotionally traumatized. But then they fell into the freaking Tartarus. How will they not become insane? Will they become insane in the next book? Oh my god, I need them to be sane, because I will be sane if they are sane. But anyway, let me know what you thought about the Mark of Athena down in the comments. I hope I made sense, which I didn't, because right now I am not making sense, because it's a little late in the night and I'm a little emotional. So anyway, Mark of Athena by Riordan, that was my review. Thanks for watching, and bye. Perkabeth forever!